Hi everybody, welcome to my channel for a new practice game with the new Infernal Dwarves against Highborn Elves. It's a revenge game actually against Mad, a good mate from my club, who beat me during the first battle report with the new Infernal Dwarves. As I said before, always the same disclaimer, I recorded this video before the final release of the book, so I don't know if there is any kind of change between the version I played and the version in the book. If it's the case, I will just write it down in the description of the video, so just check it out if there is anything written down who might have changed in the meantime. My list made a couple of changes, but very few. Actually, I'm still looking to play the same play style, meaning some mixed arm approach with some monsters, good fighty character. I like the cowboy approach, and good magical support, while having some blocks as well to give me good stability on the board. So no change between Prophet and BSB. Then the Overlord Tauric Ritual with the Breath of the Brazen Bull this time, meaning I don't have anymore the Kadim Shield Bearer, I guess that's the name, which gives him the parry and the 1-up even with a great weapon, but with this Breath of the Brazen Bull, it's quite expensive, 70 points, but having a Toxic Breath is always a good thing, and I have +1 health points, and I think that's huge, because this model with 3 health points can very easily die to a lucky ball thrower shot or anything from distance, so I like the fact of having 4 life points. Prophet, the same, Bull of Shamut, Adept Occultism with Infernal Weapon, Basalt Infusion and Shield, 25 Spear, 2 block of Slaves, 12 Warrior as block for my General, 16 Immortal with Great Weapon. Really like the rule of the Immortal, never wounded better than 4+, with Bodyguard and Parry, very solid unit. 3 Anointed Tauric with paired weapons, so they have a good damage output right now because they have weapon skill 5, defense offensive, and then with paired weapon offensive 6, 4 attack each, strength 5, so not bad at all, but only 4 up armor save, but a good toughness 5, so they might be interesting. They are a bit slow with movement 7, 12, but they can deal some good damage in the good combat, so that might be something to look at. 5 Vassal Cavalries, a Rocket Battery, normal Infernal Artillery with Ether Cloud ammunition, and then the Combat Infernal Engine, I think the option is called Rock Crusher, so the one with the 3d3 grinding attack. Mad was playing the same list as he did in the first battle between us, Infernal Dwarves and Highborn Elves, so you can just look at it here. We played Marching Column, Spoil of War. I chose for spell Word of Iron, Corruption of Thin, Silver Spike, and the Hereditary spell. And for Occultism, I chose a Pentagram of Pain. I like the ability of healing myself plus causing some damage to Toughness 3 elves. And the Breath of Corruption, which is really good against Rymanite, a good tool to deal with them. And for the Overlord, I chose the triple speed, so to have 7 attack, strength 5, AP 2, plus the 3 flintlock shot, which is not bad at all. My opponent chose the spell number 1 of Cosmology, Shamanism, and Alchemy, plus the spell, Hereditary spell, of course, which is just a great, very good spell for combat and for range damage. So I really love this spell. Not so easy to cast, but with the Book of Arcane Power, it can be casted without too much problem. And then the Flaming Sword, which works really well with this list, as we saw in the first game between us, where I was able to do a lot of damage with this spell. A matchup analysis. I guess I have to be still a bit careful with the Overlord and Flying Bull because of the Ball Thrower and all the shooting. In particular Ball Thrower because they have AP10. The Bull need to avoid getting locked by Ramanite because I have Flaming Attack. Of course I would like to counter deploy to have favorable matchup, plus to get some good position cover from shooting and so on. I will try to play as much as I can with the cover, so choose the good side if I can, and have a lot of cover to avoid getting in too much trouble, to get too much casualties in the early rounds. Citadel Guard and Immortal are good tools. That's funny because Immortal actually are almost better against special units in this case, so Rymanite, Lion Chariot, than against normal spearmen who can do a lot of damage to them. So I need to face them against the cavalry or chariot if possible. Dealing as soon as possible with the Rymanite because they have huge charge range, so the sooner I can kill them, the better I will be, the better I can go into position to be in aggressive mode and get good charge range. So I will use the Rocket Battery, Silver Spike, and Breath of Corruption to cause him some trouble on the Rymanite. Deployment, so I had the possibility to choose the side. I choose south, I will explain you in a few minutes why, and he chose north. He had to take north, sorry. He decided to put first from the right side in order to be able to start. So his 3 first drop were the Eagle, 5 Romanite, and the Chariot. On my side, I put down the Slave, the unit of Immortal, and the 5 Vassal Cavalry. And then he decided to drop the rest. Seaguard with the Prince, Sisters with the BSB and the Mage, Bolt Thrower, Spearman, second unit of Rima, second Eagle. And on my side here you have the Rocket Battery, the BSB and the General are within the bunker at the moment, the Overlord, the Tank, unit of Citadel Guard, unit of Slave, the Bull and the Anointed. Basically I played as much as I could with the cover possibilities. So here both the bull is completely impossible to shoot at from every shot that he has in his list. No line of sight or too far away, so that's really good for me. Regarding the Anointed, the only one who can shoot at them would be this Bolt Thrower, but with a hard cover, so I do not have to worry at all. I played well with the hill, I guess. Then regarding here, none of the Bolt Thrower has a line of sight on the Overlord at the moment, so he's safe. And then I used the field as much as I could by having soft cover for these 3 units within the field, plus having a soft cover for the tank at the moment against both Bolt Thrower because they're in my flank, and against very likely against both these 2 units. So I did as much as I could. That's also valid for the Citadel Guard, who will benefit from soft cover against these 3 units here. So not bad at all regarding cover possibilities on the south part of the board. Let's move on to turn 1. So Mad moved quite aggressively to take the wall on the right side and threat me. Then he moved normally with Sisters and moved forward with the Spearman and stayed back on this side to avoid the shots of the Rocket Battery, who has only a 32-inch range, so he's able to stay out of the Rocket Battery. Magic, he's able to cast Flaming Sword on the Sisters, then he tries the Quicksilver Lash on the tank. I really wanted to dispel that, so I dispel it, and then he's able to cast Altered Sight to get a good shooting aim. Shooting, he put both Bolt Thrower into the rocket with long range, light cover, is able to cause 2 wounds, and then he puts the unit of Sisters on the Rocket Battery, is able to do the 3 other wounds and to kill me. So I could have probably avoided that by putting the Rocket Battery farther to the right, so as far away as possible from the Sisters. Him being able to do 5 forward and shoot at me with everybody, I think only 4 of them couldn't shoot, but the rest could shoot. I guess that was too easy. It's good to get some light cover, but could have been maybe a bit more far away from him to cause him more trouble. I guess here on the right side maybe to be as far away as possible from him and avoid this casualty turn 1. So yeah, basically I have no more Rocket Battery for this game. My turn 1. I move fast forward with the tank, avoiding the forest and moving 10 forward. I move as well forward with Citadel Guard, using the forest to gain cover. As you can see, the frontage is the most important at the moment, so I gain soft cover against all these shots, and I was able to put my Overlord within the unit, just to be able to get good charge range in the next turn. And then I was able to pass the leadership with the Orcs to give them battle focus on the shooting. I will only have a couple of shots against this unit, but still battle focus is good. The Flying Bull comes behind the hill just to be able to offer some counter charges. I went a bit forward with the Anointed to be able to give them the Breath of Corruption and be within 18. And on the right side, I just moved the BSB into the Immortals and move a bit forward the Slaves. That's it. Magic. I was able to cast Breath of Corruption to get a good roll and to cast it on the champion, so that's a good news. Then I tried to cast the Silver Spike. I found a good spot on the flank here to threat all of sorry, that was my previous ID, but then I saw with the breast weapon in, I was just with one guy within 18, so I couldn't afford him losing one of these guys, then I would have lost the breast weapon. So I decided to cast it against the Lion Chariot, but he was able to dispel it, and then shooting phase I was able with the breast weapon to kill 4 of them, so really good. He was able to pass the panic check. Turn 2, it goes behind the hill to threat me with counter charges. Actually took a charge, very surprising one for me, with the Spearman against Citadel block. So first of all I was able to stand and shoot and kill like 3 of them, but then I saw I have the Overlord within this unit. I'm able to attack on 4 ranks. I don't know what was exactly his ID, maybe pin me in place or do some casualties for the next combat. I don't know exactly what he had in mind. Fortunately or not for him, he failed this 7 on dice, only moved forward 3. So yeah, we'll see. Move forward with the Sea Guards to be able to offer some counter charges depending what I will do. And move forward on the right side since I have no rocket battery anymore. Move forward with the chaff to be ready to chaff for the coming turn. In Magic, I used the Binding Scroll to stop Flaming Sword. Couldn't afford him shooting with all these shots against the tank with +1 to wound. Quicksilver Lash on the tank, he did a 12 on 3 dice. Couldn't dispel that, so he did 2 wounds on the tank, which is quite good. And I was able to dispel Favor of Meladis. Looking forward to the coming combat. I wouldn't like the idea of him saving 4 wounds. And then he was able to put +1 strength to the Spearman, but that won't change a lot my decision making for the coming turn. Shooting, he was able to focus my tank and cause him 3 wounds. I have only 1 wound remaining, but I'm still alive, so that's the most important, I guess. So he really focused all his shots and did a lot of 6s. I mean, he has a huge amount of shots, so even with toughness 7, he's able to get some 6s from these 20-something shots of the Seagulls. My turn 2. I took a couple of charges. First of all, the Overlord went alone in the Spearman unit, decided to hold, and then I went in with the Flying Bull. He decided to flee, so he fled to safety. I redirect the charge from the Overlord into the Sisters, and didn't redirect because I was afraid he would flee again with the Sisters here on the back and be in a safe zone. So I decided not to charge. Here I go over the token. Here I went back with my tank, decided to wait a little bit longer. I don't want to get shot to death, so I went again behind the forest. And then move forward as much as I can with my Immortal to threat him for the later stage. And here I decided to try something I didn't know exactly because he didn't position very well with his Sea Guard unit. Meaning I was out of arc with my small character and I could easily reform and then be closest to him and still be out of arc. So I didn't need to move as much forward with the Citadel Guard, but I thought, let's see. Let's try this out. It's a test game. Let's see how I can hold against Sea Guards. With my Citadel, I can shoot at them, stand and shoot. With the battle focus given from the Orcs, let's see what happens. Magic. I tried to cast Breath of Corruption, failed, then I was able to cast Silver Spike and kill the last Ramonite here. Then I tried to cast +1 armor save, this was Dispel, and -1 armor save here, I failed Dispel. Close combat, I don't know why, I didn't issue a challenge. I don't know why, I could have issued a challenge. I forgot about Hatred, so I just attack as normal. I didn't reroll, I completely forgot, and did only 4 casualties in total, so he was able to stay with the Steadfast. Maybe I thought with that many attack I could cause a lot of casualties and then deny him some rank bonus in the later stage with the Hatred on the first turn, and I will challenge in the coming turn, but then I forgot about Hatred, so yeah, only 4 casualties would have been better against the Mage or the BSB. Let's move on to turn 3. He took the charge, so I was able between the shooting attack from the last turn and this turn stand and shoot. Stand and shoot, I did 12 wounds this turn. That was just amazing. So he has not a lot of model left, so I'm feeling quite confident. Here I just reform to be in contact with the BSB and threat him. He move forward with the chariot to countercharge me. Move forward with the Ramonite to charge me next turn, and decided to chaff my Immortal to avoid me charging in the flank. That's it. In Magic, he's able to cast +1 strength on the Seaguard. I dispel Favor of Melodies. I thought, yeah, this combat might be a bit tricky. I don't want him to stop some casualties from the challenge, so let's stop Favor of Melodies, but +1 strength is also very nasty in this combat. And then he's able to cast as well Altered Sight to get +1 to hit. And combat is able to kill 9 guys from my unit. I'm able only to kill 1. He has distracting on the first turn. And here I was able to do a challenge and kill the mage and just reform straight. He's also able to reform with the Seaguard, but I'm not so in a bad spot with that. I have only a few Citadel Guards remaining. I was just that fast. My turn 3. No counter charges available here, so I just move my bull back within cover and long range of both bolt thrower, but within counter charge range in the coming turn. I didn't take any DT, so that was a good news. I was able to charge to clean the chaff, move forward with the slave, and here just move the bit back, just turn the tank around to make sure that I should be able to charge and pass the forest without any DT. Move forward with the Anointed, but they are slow now with the Spoil of War, and just I think I failed this time the Orc check at the beginning of the turn, and I just was shaken for this turn. Magic, I try to cast +2 armor save on the Citadel Guard to help them survive, but it's Dispel. -1 armor save on the cavalry in. Looking forward to this combat because I can cause some casualties with 3 up armor save. And then with Pentagram of Pain, I'm able to heal a wound and cause 2 wounds to the cavalry. He has only a 4 up against this blast, so that's good for me. BSB in combat in the challenge, I'm only able to do 2 wounds. With 7 attack on 3+2+, I'm only able to do 2 wounds. So that was unexpected, but I'm still in the challenge. Here he makes me flee and just pivot on his center to charge the back of my Overlord, so I'm just fleeing and I ended up here. And yeah, here I cleaned the Eagle and I did an overrun because I wanted to, basically I did some math and I thought I will probably test on a 7. So I really wanted to have the reroll, so with a small overrun I was able to give him the reroll. I overrun like an 8, so I was able to give the reroll, and I don't worry about giving my flank to the Ramonite because I have great weapon, I'm bodyguard, so should be fine. Turn 4, Highborn Elves, he takes the charge with the 3 remaining Ramonite into the slaves, fine for me. I took the charge in the back with the general, the Sea Guards, so that will be an interesting combat. Move forward with the chariot to threat all my remaining units. Magic is trying to prepare himself for this combat, upcoming combat with his lord. Try to cast +1 strength, dispel it, then try to cast +1 aim. I'll let this on. And then heal a wound on the BSB. He has no other choice than to heal the BSB because he has nobody else with multi wounds to heal. So that will be helping me a lot because I can get additional combat result, which is really interesting. Shooting, he puts both ballista against tank on 5 up, 6 up, does nothing, so that's good for me. I was able to do 2 times an armor save on 5 up, I guess, so quite lucky. Combat, I'm able to kill the BSB. I'm using the breast weapon because I was thinking I need the max overkill to get this 8 rerollable. I used the breast weapon, but actually I didn't need it because this time I was able with 7 attack on 3+2+ to do the 5 wounds, so good for me. I lost the breast weapon, but I mean I needed to be safe, and 8 rerollable I'm able to stick, so next turn I will be against his general. On the right side, I'm able to do 1 wound to him. He did 6 to me, so he has only 2 model left. I have a lot of model, I'm steadfast 9 rerollable, fine for me. My turn 4, a counter charge of the bull, flying bull, taking no DT, and flying onto the back of the Actually, I use the ground movement because I have much more movement, but charging the back of this unit, so I should be fine. Tough decision to decide whether I want to take the challenge with the Flying Bull, who has 4 divine attack, which can be good against this Destiny's Call guy, but he could very well kill my guy with 3 wounds, so tough decision. I decided to charge with the tank. I had only 1 wound remaining, but I thought terror check first of all, and then with impact, you might be lucky. So I charge, I pass terror and stay. Here we're still in combat. Here I just reform the Immortal. And here I try to do some kind of cover with my chaff to avoid the chariot having a charge, an easy charge on them. Actually, if you want to charge them, he has to go through the forest and make some kind of wheel, which might be difficult to have and might still be quite far away from my general's unit. So I try to do as much as I could. Here I continue fleeing, wasn't able to roll a 5, and here I move forward with both, preparing for the later stage. Here rerollable 7 Swift Stride might be feasible on the coming turn if needed. Magic, I try to cast a Breath of Corruption, Dispelled. I'm able to put -1 armor save on them, so that was good. And then before I tried to put +1 armor save, but that was dispelled by my opponent on the general, trying to get him ready with a 1-up for the challenge. Here we were able to do 1 wound each. He was able to stick with his champion, so good for me. With a 4-up armor save, it's not so easy to save now. I'm still able to do a lot of attacks because I have paired weapons, so that's good. And here, very good from the tank. I'm able to do 5 +1, 6 on 2-up, 6 wounds on 6-up to save. I am able to one-shot him, so great performance from the tank this time. I wasn't expecting that. I thought, you never know, let's just try to be lucky, and I was very lucky this time, so just able to reform. And last but not least, this combat, I decided to take it with general. I thought I have 4 wounds remaining. I have a 2-up and a 4-up. I might be able to save them. So let's go challenge. He's able to strike me on 3+ with 4 attacks. I guess no 2+. 2+ because Alter Sight, he rolled 2, 2, 1, so 4 hits. But then the 4 hits wounded, so 4 wounds, AP4. So I'm able to save on 6-up. No 6, and then on 4-up, I'm rolling 3 times 1 and a 5. So just surviving because of this item giving me the 4 wounds. So luckily for me. And then with 7 attack, I got very lucky because I was able to kill him. Luckily for me, 3-up, 2-up, 7 attack, and then for him 6-up, 4-up, and he rolled really badly on the ward save, and I'm able to do the 3 wounds I needed. So then we decided to stop the game because, as you can see, it was basically game over because the bull would do a lot of damage on the back. He would be steadfast, but would be dead on the coming turn probably. That was really the end of the game for us. So we decided to stop here. Since the practice game, there was no sense of continuing in the coming turn. That's the final picture. Okay, that's what it took from me. I didn't count anything, but you see where the game was going. I had the scenario because I had the only spoil of war, and I was able to take it on the 4th turn with the Immortal here to get this token turn 5. So yeah, no problem for me for the scenario, this game. Okay, let's see what happened. Of course, Overlord performance was really good, and this game was able to kill the 3 character with some luck towards the end. I underestimated this +1 strength. I was too afraid of the hereditary spell for the Overlord combat, and I thought, let's dispel this one. The +1 strength was too much. I think basically the wrong decision was not exactly the dispelling prioritization, but it was more going forward with Citadel God. Since Mad had a bad placement with his general and wasn't able to countercharge me, I should have just stayed a bit more back and be ready for the charges in the coming turn. But I think there was no point of going forward this aggressive. Basically, this was a good move if he would have been able to countercharge me, because then I would have been blocking him and try to deny him the countercharge. But in this case, I think that was not a good decision to move forward. So basically, I got punished. And I think the flee with the spear block was not a good idea. Would have given him some time to react, find a solution. I guess with both characters, I should have been able to deal with him in the 2 in 2 combat rounds, so to be able to reform, to pivot at the end of his turn would have been huge, and then I would have been able to get some interesting charges on turn 3. So it was still not an ideal combination, but you never know. I might fail some restraint check or anything, so you never know. And probably I should have maybe got only go directly with the Toruk Overlord into the Sisters, because this was a very good combat without the general in this block. So I should have gone directly for this combat probably, and only the Bull into the Spear block. Maybe he would have stayed against the Bull, but you never know. I mean, he had strength 4 with the +1 strength, but I still think that the Bull should be fine. But I was a bit afraid of the countercharge of the Lone Rymanite. That's why I wanted to go with both into the Spear block. So at the end, I think I would have been still fine with both against the Spear block. I think that was the right idea. But then maybe the bad decision for Matt to flee against this combat. Okay, that's all for this combat, for this game. I hope you liked it. I will have some new practice game. I hope you like the flood of video incoming after the release of the book. And see you soon on my channel for new battle reports. Bye bye.